On NBC4 tonight, new and never-before-seen information in the decades-long case of sexual predator Dr. Richard Strauss, who sexually molested hundreds of young men at The Ohio State University. This is a copy of the Master Settlement Agreement reached between OSU and about 170 of the Strauss survivors. It's never before been made public. It lays out a system for paying out about $40 million, an average of $252,000 per victim. Through a public records request, I obtained this agreement that the university does not want you to see. I know that because there is a clause banning media statements or disclosing the terms of the agreement to anyone. There's also a clause that provides if the university settles any of the other of hundreds of pending claims for a higher amount of money, they've got to come back and give this group of plaintiffs the same amount of money. And there is a provision for a special master to consider the nature of all the claims and hand out the money based on the nature and severity of the harm. There are few victims who can claim more harm than the man you are about to meet. Al Nowakowski, a once promising hockey star from Canada, heavily recruited by OSU in 1988. Within the last 30 days, he revealed a secret he held for 32 years. He's sharing it now because he is angry. Not just because of what Richard Strauss did, but because Nowakowski now believes the university allowed it to happen.
When I found out that they knew, when I found out that the Ohio State University Board of Directors or whoever the upper echelon was knew, I was beyond, well, to this day, I cannot, to this moment, every day I'm thinking, holy, do these people not have kids? Do these people not have hearts or souls? Like there's a special place for these people and it's not heaven. For those that knew, they knew Colleen.
Al Nowakowski is still stunned at what he learned 1 month ago when a friend sent him our stories on the culture of cover-up and other reports on the Dr. Richard Strauss scandal at Ohio State. Hundreds of men breaking decades of silence about a sexual predator.
I've kept this hidden for 32 years, Colleen. 32 years of my life, over half my life, I've kept this secret.
A secret that changed his life.
Anyone that was groped and touched was a victim. You know, that shouldn't be allowed anywhere. But to be raped by your own doctor, to be drugged and then raped in your own house, your own apartment, in your own bedroom.
The university commissioned an independent study that concluded hundreds of men had been molested by Strauss, 47 raped. Now we know Al Nowakowski is number 48. He was a member of the Junior National Championship team in Canada, inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame there, heavily recruited by Ohio State. At 18, he had never before had a physical that involved a genital exam.
I mean, I was thousands of miles away from home. First person I encounter in the medical realm at the Ohio State University is our team doctor. I mean, if he's going to check for stuff, he's going to check for stuff. I came out of there going, what the heck was that?
He soon learned because Strauss seemed to target him, insisting on repeated invasive exams, or Nowakowski would not be cleared to take the ice.
College hockey is the next step to the National Hockey League. That's the next step to a pro career. How do I go in and say to Bill Davies or to the trainers or whatever, hey, you know, is this right?
The young man from a small town in British Columbia, Canada, could not handle what Strauss was putting him through.
I was thrown off from the very beginning, so I never played well. I couldn't get my head around, you know, I mean, you're dealing with all this stuff in your head and you're trying to go to school and you're trying to be an elite athlete. And it just started to spiral out of control.
He started drinking. His game suffered. He had to see the coach when he showed up late for a practice.
I sat down and said, I'm really sorry for being late. And he said, you are nothing but a cancer to this team. I said, I beg your pardon? He said, you're a cancer. You're done.
His promising hockey career with Ohio State was over. So was his dream of making it to the NHL. The rape by Strauss came months later, and it was not until last month that he learned he was not the only victim, and that in dozens of lawsuits, hundreds of men claim they were victimized over a period of 20 years, while university officials, they claim, turned a blind eye.
They knew the whole frickin' time. I chose Ohio State. I chose to come and be a Buckeye. And what did I get? I wanted my degree and I wanted to be a hockey player. And what did they give me? They gave me Dr. Richard Strauss. And they knew about him.
Al Nowakowski is a big guy. You might ask, how was he assaulted by Dr. Strauss, who was not a big guy? That part of the story tonight at 11 with a warning. Some of it will be graphic.